I should really be studying for my final exam this Friday. Yet here I am. Hey, what's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I post commentary and critique and reaction videos every single week, so if any of that interests you, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload. So if you've not been keeping up with my channel, you may not know that I've actually been doing a commentary kind of after special video series to Shane Dawson's new series with Jeffree Star. So if you're not all caught up with those videos, I will go ahead and link the playlist down below for your viewing pleasure so you can get all caught up on the drama. Alrighty guys, so in today's video we're going to be doing our after special video to the 5th episode in the series, which was titled The Failure of Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, which is a very bold and dramatic title. But if there's anything we know about Shane, is he is very dramatic. So anyway guys, my overall thoughts and like general consensus on this episode is that I actually really enjoyed it. You know, we actually had quite a bit of a wait for this episode than we did for the other ones. You know, normally Shane posts them on Fridays, but a lot of people were speculating that he actually went ahead and pushed the date for the release of the new episode because of Tati Westbrook's release of her makeup palette. So if you don't know, Tati Westbrook just released her first eyeshadow palette on the Friday last week, which is when Shane's series normally comes out. So a lot of people were thinking that maybe out of respect, he just wanted to like postpone the video and give her like all of the attention of the internet for her palette, which honestly I think is a really wonderful thing for Shane to do. I think that's really kind and just goes to show the type of person that Shane is. But on the other hand, it's just so strange to me how many people are releasing palettes in the month of October. Like we just had James Charles, then we had Tati Westbrook, and then we had Shane Dawson. So anyway, we have the new episode which just came out today, and then we have another one that comes out tomorrow, and these two are kind of centered around the reveal of the final Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star conspiracy palette, which actually comes out this Friday, so we've actually got a few days to go. So make sure y'all are saving your coins and getting ready on the site, because I just have a feeling they're going to go super duper quick. But that is super exciting, so I'm really excited to see what the palette ends up looking like, because unfortunately in this episode, as we'll get into, we didn't actually see what the final palette will look like, but we did actually get to see a lot of interesting things in this episode. We had a lot of interesting reveals and everything, but kind of like the main thing I want to be talking about in this video is kind of the tea or the drama, whatever you want to call it, that was discussed with Morgan, Ryland's sister, and her experience with some of the beauty gurus on a brand trip. So we'll get into that later on, but let's just go ahead and start on with the recap, and I'll give you guys my thoughts as we go along. So first up, the video starts in March when Shane is in his bathroom, which is like literally just covered in makeup. Like he's like literally turned his and Ryland's ensuite into like a makeup studio, and he is in there and he's doing Andrew's makeup because Andrew tried some skincare product that messed up his skin. It was probably Kylie's skin. I'm not even kidding though, like my sister's tried Kylie's skin and it like literally made her break out. That skincare line is just anyway, that's another drama for another time. But he did that, so then Shane went ahead and applied his makeup. You know, it was a cute little moment, whatever. It was interesting considering that took place in March, and then as soon as that segment is finished, we jump straight to June, and it's like just kind of a big time jump. But I'm glad that we did jump to June, because I feel like a lot of the series has been taking place in the beginning of the year, which was so long ago. I really want some updated tea, some fresh tea, you know what I mean? Like some of the tea's a little stale. I want something a little more fresh. Besides, a lot of you in the comments just kept having to remind me, because I kept getting confused with things. I was like, wait, why are they talking about this, blah, 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 and you guys kept having to remind me of the timeline. I need to remind myself that this was filmed literally months ago. But yeah, I don't know, it's just I just keep forgetting, you know, because normally it doesn't take people months and months and months to upload a video. That actually is no shade. That sounded shady. I feel like I just sound shady without even trying to. Ugh. It's kind of in my nature. But anyways, so we have a really touching segment where Shane actually starts working out. So, you know, he's been in this entire series and his entire YouTube channel career really been speaking about his struggles with his weight and his self-confidence and everything. And it was a big part of the series in many aspects, especially, you know, in the first couple episodes. And I touched on that with you guys. I spoke about how, you know, we get that this is Shane's struggle and everything, but how I'm also just kind of over the self-deprecating humor. And some of you did agree with me, and now I do understand that self-deprecating humor is a coping mechanism. Believe me, sis, I have been there. But the only reason I critique the self-deprecating humor is I'm not critiquing it from a point of view as Shane as a person. I'm critiquing it as a point of view in terms of like the series, you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at it as a part of the series. Like if he wants to do self-deprecating jokes, that's fine. But like as a part of the series, when I'm doing a review and judgment of the series, it's not enjoyable, it's not funny, it's repetitive. That's my general opinion of the self-deprecating humor. Anyway, my point with that, after my entire tangent, is that I actually really really liked Shane in this video because when he had his whole gym segment with his personal trainer, they kind of wrote something up on the board about, you know, what was Shane's goal for the day, what was a bad habit that he wanted to try stop, and for him it was to stop saying mean things about himself, which I think is so good. You know, I wish that I would take that advice because, you know, saying mean things about yourself just makes you believe it. I feel like I'm learning to believe more in manifestation and like saying positive things to make them come to fruition, and I feel like if you're constantly having negative self-talk, it's just gonna breed more and more negativity. I wish I would take this on advice, but like, you know what I mean? I get where they were coming from, and I think it was really nice to see Shane more confident in this episode. Even Jeffree was getting surprised anytime Shane like said something nice about himself or complimented himself, which is sad actually, but I get Shane. Like, it's really difficult to like compliment yourself or take compliments in the same way. So I was honestly really proud of Shane. I was getting like a little bit emotional. You know, he was like doing this whole journey and talking about how he just wanted to do this not just to get skinny, because in the past he would just work out to get skinny, but now he wants to work out to be healthy, which I love because I was the exact same way. Like, so proud of Shane because we've seen how long it has taken for him to get to this point and how much of a struggle it's been. But anyway, I'm probably going on such a tangent, but I just really enjoyed that entire segment. I thought it was so just touching and heartfelt, and it's really nice to see a personal journey and a growth within somebody. And I think that's what's beautiful about the series, since it is so long, as you get to see, you know, you can compare Shane in this episode to the way he was in the first episode, which just pulls on my little heartstrings, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, moving on. Okay, so I will touch on this very briefly because it's kind of stale tea. Like, if you have been keeping up with Jeffree Star, you would know about this already, but if you haven't, so if you remember, we spoke about the robbery that took place in Jeffree's warehouse in the last episode. So what actually happened is some of the burglars actually stole an entire shade from his concealer line that hadn't been released yet, and they were trying to sell it on the black market, and it was a big massive deal because obviously these concealers hadn't been released yet, Jeffree hadn't spoken about them yet, and also the component, like the actual packaging for the concealer, was a really beautiful design that took them a year to create, which I do believe because it was very intricate. And seeing that just stolen overnight, and it was obviously a really big deal for Jeffree, so we got to see that a little bit. Jeffree was on complete and utter boss mode. He's like, I already got 4 bitches in jail, I'm catching these hoes, and I was like, yes queen, work. Just such an inspiration. You know, the fact that he was being so resilient in such a tough time. I mean, obviously there's bigger issues in the world, it's a very first world problem, but it is still a huge deal to have something you've been working on for a year just stolen from you. So I did think that was an interesting segment, but I also just liked how Jeffree was like, anyways, let's just get back to the palette. The fact that he's just like so go and resilient. So I just thought that was a nice moment, you know what I mean? But anyway, into the part that we are actually interested in, which is when they go ahead and look at the packages for the conspiracy palette. So I was so flippin' excited to finally see what the palette was going to look like, and I thought we were going to get that in this episode. Unfortunately, we did not, but we will be getting it in the next episode. That is confirmed. It is the reveal episode, but we did kind of get an insight into what the palette would possibly look like. I'm pretty sure we got a confirmed look at the mini palette, the controversy palette. It's kind of got like a static TV design. I actually preferred the first design to the second one, so I was kind of bummed out when they changed it, but you know what, whatever. I think the main focus is on the big conspiracy palette. But an editing choice that Andrew and Shane made, which I thought was really interesting, was kind of how they interwove this episode with this segment with Morgan. So Morgan is Ryland's sister, Ryland, Shane's fiance. You guys probably know this, but Morgan has actually been like a really big and up and coming YouTuber. You know, she's gained a lot of followers. She's really different from a lot of the YouTubers in her genre or her niche. I don't know, like she's really relatable and different, and I honestly think she's a really good role model. She's not so fake like a lot of these other YouTubers. But she was talking about how she went on a brand trip with some influencers. Now, they didn't actually say who these influencers are, but if you do like the tiniest bit of digging, it's honestly very obvious. So Morgan was hanging out with these influencers for a while, and those influencers were Tila Dunn, Sierra She, like Nikki Dumar, and what was the other one's name? I don't know, they all look the same to me. I don't know, I really don't remember her name. But yeah, like a bunch of those, you know, those like girls who like used to be in the phase where they were all about like DIYs, morning routine, life hacks, oh my god, like high school. Like they'd make back to school videos even though they hadn't been to school in like 5 years, but you know, they're just gonna make their coin, and their editing was like super oversaturated, and you guys know who I'm talking about. Basically like the epitome of a basic girl, basically. How many times did I say basically? So basic. But anyway, you don't have to do much digging to deduce that those are who the people she was talking about. And she was talking about how she went on these brand trips and how she just really felt left out. She felt really judged for like her clothes, her makeup, her body, her face. And they were all talking about like all the different procedures they'd had done, like how they had veneers and lip fillers and Botox and all this shit, and how she felt like she needed to get that stuff as well to fit in. And you know, I thought it was just a really nice segment for them to include, because obviously there's probably a lot of young girls watching this, and it's really, really difficult nowadays to be confident with the way that social media is presented to us. I made an entire video about this. It's called Is Social Media Ruining Our Mental Health? And then I also have another video about Instagram and Facetune and how that affects our self-confidence. So if you want to check those two videos out, I'll link them down below. Sum up my feelings about this entire topic really well, so go check those out. But basically, I just think it's really tough nowadays, obviously, because on Instagram we see all these pictures and we take them for face value, but you know, we don't do enough digging to realize why people look the way that they look. A lot of these people on Instagram have surgery, Facetune, they have stylists, they have personal trainers, they have makeup artists, they have money, they have all of these different factors that contribute to them looking the way that they look. And while logically we can think that, when we're just scrolling through our phones, we don't automatically think about all these things when we're looking at the photo. It's very easy to just look at the photo and for us to just make a snap judgment and compare ourselves to them. And I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to be on a trip with 6 of these girls who all look like one thing, and then you just look like something else, and you feel so isolated and like you don't fit in. So I think it was really, really nice for Shane to include that entire segment with Morgan, because I'm sure that's going to resonate with a lot of people watching the series. And I just thought it was such a cute like little full circle moment. He took Morgan to Jeffree, and you know, Jeffree said, you know, you can get all these things like the surgery and all this type of stuff, but it's really not going to make you happy. You know, these people are fake. They just care about, you know, showing off and gloating and clout and money, when really that's not the important things in life. Like the important things in life are just being happy. Sorry to interrupt this heartfelt moment, but I just had to go ahead and say that I apologize for that fucking disgusting booger in my nose. I have no idea where that came from. I am sick at the moment. I'm sorry. It's gross. I don't blame you if you exit the video right now. Oh god. And confident in yourself, and it was just like a really nice message, and I just thought it was really touching. And even though we still haven't got much of the tea from Shane and Morgan like Shane promised, I just have given up on that. I feel like it's just not gonna happen at this point. I honestly just thought it was a really nice segment. This entire episode was just like very touching to me. It's just very like in my feels, you know what I mean? Anyway, something else that I thought was really nice and interesting in this episode was we got to see all of like the little stamp impressions inside like the little shades, and they look so cool. I was like getting so giddy and excited. I honestly don't even know if I'm gonna buy this palette. I feel like I should figure it out considering it's coming out in 4 days. But like, I don't do makeup. Like obviously I do like basic ass makeup for my videos, but I don't do like eyeshadows and shit like that. But like just looking at this palette and seeing the creation of it is making me so excited. Like I honestly just want to. Honestly, it's just such a great marketing tool. I've seen some people saying, did Shane and Jeffree really just make an entire 9-part series to promote a palette? And if they did, that is some smart ass marketing, because I feel like if I'm this invested in a makeup palette and I'm not even a makeup fan, I couldn't even imagine how invested makeup fans are. So it's super exciting. I guess we'll have to wait and see if I get it. I don't even know how much it's gonna be. Oh god, and with the shipping, the exchange from US to Australian dollars, ooh, it's gonna be a pretty penny, but could be worth it. Really could. But anyway, so Shane really liked the little stamps in the shades, obviously, and he approved those. Those were great, but he was really not a fan of the palette packaging, and I wasn't either. Like I was just looking at them and I was kind of like not impressed. I felt like the black and white stripes and like the spiral was just kind of like not really pleasing to the eye. I'm honestly not a fan of black and white stripes, which is ironic considering I'm wearing a black and white striped shirt, but I literally hate this shirt. The only reason I'm wearing it is because I thought that it would fit this video, and I'm honestly running out of shirts to wear. But anyway, so he was not a fan of it, and neither was I, and neither was Jeffree. It was really just nice to see Shane be confident enough to say that, because I know how hard that would have been for him to say, because Shane is like such a people pleaser and he doesn't like confrontation. But you know, everybody took it really well. It's all business. It's a business meeting. You got to make the best decision for the brand. But now the big issue here is that they can redo the design. But the thing is, they're not just adjusting stuff. They are completely changing the entire design. They want to change from a rectangle to a triangle. They want to do like an eye thing. Like they're changing the entire concept. And due to the tight time frame that they are under, they don't have a lot of time to create tons and tons of different palette packaging options. They have one more go at this. So Anna's going to take all the designs and she's going to create another set of palettes for them to look at, and they have to choose one of them or else they're not going to meet their deadline. So that was obviously a really suspenseful moment. You know, Shane was getting really anxious and stuff like that. Like I totally get it. It's a really big decision. But by the end of the episode, him and Andrew were on Photoshop working their little creative magic, and they think that they may have came up with the final design. And I was just like, just show us the screen. And I knew they weren't going to do it. And of course they didn't, but luckily we only have to wait till tomorrow to see the final design. fine. But I am so flippin' excited. I cannot wait to see like the final reveal of it. I mean, they said the series was 9 episodes and tomorrow is episode 6, and obviously I think that's going to be like the reveal of the entire palette. I'm sure we'll probably see like some photo shoots of it and everything, but I'm really curious as to what the next 3 episodes are going to be. Like, if they do not show us Dramageddon, I will be furious, because they showed us in the trailer, and I understand that Shane wanted the series to be more business focused instead of drama focused, and I'm all here for that. Do not get me wrong, as much as I love the drama and the tea, I'm loving the business, but like, come on. False advertising is not the way to go, Shane. Come on. Like, he showed us the tea with Tati and James and Jeffree, which, by the way, guys, I do not agree with Jeffree's behavior in that situation. I actually have a video on that entire Dramageddon 2 if you want to know my opinions on it, because please don't think that I'm like all sided with Jeffree in this situation, because the way that Jeffree behaved in Dramageddon 2 was not the best, that's for sure. I feel like everybody in that situation was in the wrong, Tati, James, and Jeffree, so check my video out down below if you want to go ahead and hear my thoughts about that. But I just really hope that we get that. Just would love for this series to end with all of the drama and all of the unanswered questions packed away, and then for the final episode to just be this huge launch party to see Shane so happy, so successful with Jeffree. You know, I am just so proud of how far Shane has come, and also just like really loving their friendship. Like, there were moments of this episode when they were in the factory looking at the products being made, and both Shane and Jeffree were crying, because, you know, you got to think about it, they've been doing this for months and months and months, like literally since last year when they had their first series and they started talking about it. So this is a really big deal for them. This is like their baby that they created together. They're like parents, and the palette is their child. It's a modern day love story. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much my thoughts on the episode and the series so far. I really enjoyed this episode. There wasn't a ton of tea, which I know all of us will be a little bit disappointed about, but I still really enjoyed it because the business and the emotions and like the journey was just so good. Just such a good episode. I loved it a lot. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what your thoughts are. I would love to know, and let me know what your predictions are for the rest of the series. But as always, if you've not already, please make sure that you subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss an upload, especially considering I will be uploading again either tomorrow or the day after for part 6, and then we have 3 more parts left in the series. And of course, any of my other videos, if you want to check those out, like, that's totally cool too. And my social media is always linked down below if you want to go ahead and follow me over there and connect with me. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in my next one. And of course, I hope that you have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. Bye.